Hi everyone, and thank you for joining. Today I will show you how you can make this beautiful little bag here. It's in the size that it barely fits your phone and some credit cards and some money. So I call it Festival Clutch because it's perfect for every event where you only need these essentials. You need 2.5mm rope yarn. I needed a little bit more than one ball, which depends on the size on your mobile phone, if you want to make another part of the bag, and so on. And then we need these D-rings and this little chain here. That's it. We start with a row of chain stitches like this. And I can't give you a specific number of chain stitches here because it depends on the size of your phone and on the size that you like for your bag. So I just placed the row of chain stitches next to my phone and checked if it's wide enough. And it should be slightly bigger than your phone, like shown here. As soon as you reach the size, make one more chain and then turn around, poke in the second hole from your hook and make a normal stitch here. Afterwards, go on with normal stitches. And it should look like this. When you reach the end of the row, we will go on like this. We will make 2 chain stitches. This is the first one and the second one, and then we poke in on the bottom side here and go on with normal stitches. 1, 2, like this. Some more. This is how it looks like. When we now reach the end of the row again, we change from the horizontal pattern to the vertical pattern. So the bottom of the bag is finished here. If you want to make it in the same size like I did. To go on with the sides, we make 1 chain stitch and a second chain stitch, and then we poke in here in this little loop. Like this. There you go. And then you make a chain stitch here, a normal stitch. And for the rest of the round, you always use these little loops here and go on like this for the whole round until you reach this side again. This is how it looks like. You can already see that it starts to bend up to the sides. Like this. And go on by using these little loops. At the end of the round, we switch to normal stitches again. So this is how it should look like now. Then you make one chain stitch. This is how it looks like. There is the chain stitch. And then you poke in there and make a normal stitch. And this is how you change the pattern from using this little loop to making normal stitches. Now you just go on with normal stitches like this, and you can already see that your bag keeps growing and the sides become very visible, like this. So as you notice, the bag is very thin, like you can see here, but it should fit to any phone anyway. So my current phone here, my iPhone, has a cover on and it fits in the bag anyway, pretty easy. If you still want to make a bigger bottom, so a bigger bag, I will link you another tutorial of mine in the description where I explain how you can make a bigger bottom. Afterwards you go on with normal stitches until the bag reaches the height that you need. Keep in mind that it should be slightly higher than your phone, so that your phone fits in very easy. So it should be slightly wider and slightly higher, like this. So as soon as the bag reaches the height that you need, we go on in this little edge here. That means you poke in this loop. Make sure to start right on the at the corner of the bag. Pull the yarn through. Then make a chain stitch. And go on with normal stitches, but as you can see here now, I only use the back thread. So I poke in the middle of the two loops and make the normal stitch only around the back thread, like this. And I do the stitches around the loose end of the yarn so I don't have to sew it in. this is how it should look like. And another normal stitch where I try not to cover the camera with my hand, so you can perfectly see what I'm doing, like this. And go on until the end of the row. There you make a chain and turn. So this part of your bag should be as wide and as high as the rest of your bag, so that your bag should look like this now. As soon as it has the right height, you can cut the thread, pull it through and sew it in, and afterwards you can see that this is the form of your bag that we want to have. So in this way your bag will get these two pockets, because you only have to sew on the sides of this part that we just made. I would recommend to sew them on after you fix the knob, because otherwise it's pretty difficult to reach the knob. If you want to make a third pocket, then you can just do the very same with this edge on the back side of the bag. Yes. And another nice idea is that you can make normal stitches only in a small area, fix them in the top and get this little part here that is open on the sides. In this way you can, for example, pull your belt through it and get a nice belt bag, which is nice for a festival as well. For the top of the bag we start again with normal stitches, with chain stitches, and check every now and then if they overlap a little on both sides, like shown here. As soon as you have enough stitches so that they overlap on both sides a little, you make one further stitch and then poke in the second loop from your hook to turn around. One more stitch, then not the first one but the second one, poke in here and make a normal stitch like this. And then go on with normal stitches until the end. Here reached the end of the row. In order to turn around, we now make a chain stitch like this, then turn around and go on with normal stitches, but only use this one thread shown here, so the back thread. That means you poke in the middle of the loop like this and do the normal stitch around the back thread like this. Afterwards you go on with normal stitches, and please stop before you reach the tip. There. Yep. Now I reached the tip, and we will go on with 3 normal stitches in the top loop. That is shown here. This one might be a little tricky, like you can see here, to go under it. Like this. This is how it should look like. And then you make 3 normal stitches here. This is the first one. This is number 2. Number 3. And then you go on with normal stitches. This is how it looks like now. And we go on like this.
So, ich habe nun.
Now I made normal stitches until the end of the row, made a chain stitch there in order to turn around, and then went back all the way close to the tip with normal stitches, using only the back thread. And this is where I am now. So stop 2 stitches before the tip, because we will now have a different pattern. Like you can see here, there are some loops marked with the arrows. In each of these loops you will make a normal stitch, a chain stitch and a normal stitch in the very same loop. So that means in the tip you make that, then you leave one. Don't leave them empty, but you make a normal stitch in both loops next to the tip, and the following ones, there you make this pattern as well. So normal stitch, chain stitch, normal stitch. Let's see how that looks like. So I make a normal stitch like this, then I make a chain stitch, and in the very same loop a normal stitch again. Then you can already see the little edge there. Then you make a normal stitch. Now we reach the tip, like you can see here. There we make a normal stitch, a chain stitch and a normal stitch. This is the chain, the second normal stitch, like this. Then we go on with a normal stitch, and again we make a normal stitch, a chain stitch and a normal stitch in the same loop. This is the chain, this is the second normal stitch, and after that we go on with normal stitches. This pattern where we make a normal, chain and normal in the same loop is only done in this row. From now on we make a normal stitch, a chain stitch and then the next normal stitch in the next loop, not in the same anymore. So, and we make sure that we are always make the chain stitch over the edge that we want to have. Again, let's see how that looks like. So this is the edge where we place the chain stitch, which means we make a normal stitch. It's not quite the edge now, so we make another normal stitch. That looks better. So now we can make the chain. and the next normal stitch in the next loop. The next, not the same. Like this. Then normal stitches again until we reach the next edge. Not quite there yet. So another normal stitch. That looks better. We make the chain and the next normal stitch in the next loop. And normal stitches again. Another one. Now the chain and the next normal stitch in the next loop. Now you can see the shape of the top that we want to have. You go on like this now until the top of the bag reaches this the right size for your bag. Afterwards, I just sew on this little chain here with a part of the thread, and the top is ready. Then you have to fix, this is the word, then you have to fix the knobs, and I would recommend that you do it like shown here and place some small parts of the yarn in the knob, fix it there, and then sew the knob on, because otherwise you will see the these two little metal spikes. I don't know if you call them like this, but you would see them on the top of the bag, and if you poke them through the lower part of your bag, they would scratch your credit card, your phone, and so on. So I recommend to do it like this. Afterwards, you only have to sew everything together and your bag is finished. If you want to know how to make this little thing here, I will link a video below where I explain it in detail. And if you like the tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for my channel.